Hi, my name is Erik Larum. I'm at Las Vegas, Nevada at the SEMA show. I wanted to take a little time to tell you about the Globaljig Mobile System with the universals on it. The Globaljig Universal System is designed for working with high-strength vehicles such as aluminums, carbons, high-strength steels, and assists you in the sectioning and replacing of it. The nice thing about the Globaljig Universal System is, like the name says, it's universal. So it can be adapted to fit any point on the car via cross members, center sections. The center section of the car, we like to anchor to the center section of the car on vehicles when you're doing repairs and section replacings, because that's the strongest part of the car. And when you have the car anchored in these center sections right here, you have the car squared up to the bench. So you know that the car is square, ready to go, and then anything you do from the center of the car out will be within plus or minus 1 mil of the factory specification. The Globaljig is probably one of the easier systems to use. It works basically on XY coordinates, so you basically set a specification that you get on a data sheet, which is generally generated off the CAD of the vehicle to a certain point on the 3 place locations. And that puts this point in a space that puts you to the factory spec, so that when you mount that rail back in and you weld it, bond it, glue it, it's not walking around on you. The beauty of that is now these cars, a lot of these cars have what's called aluminum cross members on them. You don't have a lot of adjustment when you're putting your cross members back in. And secondly, you need to make sure that the car is perfectly aligned so that if they do have another accident, the airbag sensors function properly. Another thing we sell with the Globaljig is the universal upper body measuring system. The universal upper body measuring system is a comparison measuring system that allows you to check for the squareness of the strut towers so that you don't have to disassemble the vehicle in order to know if your strut towers are kinked or kinked in. Another nice thing about it is it'll do comparison measurements on the sides of the cars so that you can go back and forth to see if the car has some damages on the upper side of it that the bottom of the fixtures doesn't catch. Very handy, useful piece of equipment. And then we come over to here, and this is something that we just developed for 2022. The auto manufacturers wanted us to be able to hold the side of the car in the ABC pillars. What happened is, in order to do that, you had to have what was called a specialty fixture to do that. Well, every car has a different hinge position on it, so it's really not very practical to build specialty fixtures for every vehicle. So Globaljig developed a universal side body holding fixture that will actually hold the side of the car perfectly into a factory specification so that you can go in and attach the side of the car or do your A or B pillar replacements. Everything is designed to be universal. It's pretty solid. I mean, you can see that when we grab this fixture, it does not wiggle. So it holds everything tightly in place. Another real nice, I call it, design that Globaljig has is in the strut tower fixtures too. They've got a solid tube that you mount a solid billet fixture head into, and that doesn't wiggle. A lot of our other companies have apparatuses where they have several joints in there, and when you wiggle, it'll wiggle back and forth. That is solid mount to the car, so that'll keep it from moving around while you are doing your replacement welds, bonds, or glues. Pretty straightforward system to use, and technicians, once they get trained in on it and comfortable with it, they will not use anything else.